If I had stayed in Mexico, I wouldn't be the same. But many things still would be, like my family.
What could life have been like had your family stayed in Mexico and not migrated to the United States? This is a big question on the minds of many Mexican Americans in the first, second, and third generations. I know there are many of you that have cousins in Mexico that take more vacations than you. They have better jobs than you. They're higher up socioeconomically in Mexico than you are in the United States. And if you're wondering how this came to be, there's a very good book I want to recommend to you. The book is called The Sun Also Rises: Surnames and the History of Social Mobility. This is a very well researched book, and it could teach you how families remain below the poverty line or above the poverty line for many generations. One of the biggest myths that this book busts is social mobility itself. Most people across generations remain at the same socioeconomic status of their parents. In other words, three-fourths of who you are was already determined at the moment of conception, because parents of high socioeconomic status raise children that become people of high socioeconomic status, and people of low socioeconomic status raise children of that status. So if you want your child to become a doctor or a lawyer, the very first thing you have to consider is marrying a doctor or a lawyer. And in the United States, we have the added complexity of living in a multi-ethnic society. So that means that families at the lower end of the socioeconomic pyramid are even less likely to marry families at the higher end of the socioeconomic pyramid. The difference in Mexico is that people at every end of the spectrum are Mexican. They share the same language, they share the same culture, and in many cases, the same religion. Now, you could make the argument that even in Mexico, it would be difficult for a construction worker to marry a doctor, and that's probably true too. But you're far more likely to have a doctor or lawyer or just somebody of that higher socioeconomic status within your social network than you are in the United States, because overwhelmingly Mexican Americans are at the lower end of the socioeconomic pyramid.